And that leads us to stage 4. So stage 3 is still trying to expand that contact zone that we can still hit a line drive with backspin from. But stage 4, we're going to extend outside of the happy zone. All right, so this happy zone here was the position they could get extended on. What we're going to do now is progress to potentially, let's say when you make contact, normally for a ball that you get extended on, for a ball on the inside part of the plate, you make contact out here. Let's say it's a 2-strike approach. And obviously you're trying to see the ball deep to protect against off speed or a fast ball away or something like that. And you're trying to see the ball deep and he throws you a fastball in there. You've got to protect your zone because the umpire might call it a strike. How do you hit it? What do you do? All right, so this is what we're going to practice. Stage 4 is about expanding your contact zone, because obviously a pitcher is trying to get away from your happy zone, right, to get you out. So what we're trying to do now is give ourselves the greatest chance of still having a success, even when we have to hit outside of our happy zone. Didn't travel very far, but I got to say the angle and rotation was pretty good. That might be a little extreme. As you can see, it's well inside the plate. Let's go there and see how that goes. All right, swing wasn't too bad. All right, that's getting a little better. What we're trying to do is we're trying to trust our bat angle. That's perfect. All right, so take a swing and stop at the point of contact. So obviously in this situation here, we're not going to be able to get extended and get the barrel to the ball. So in this situation here, what we want to do is take the same bat angle and make contact, even if we hit the ball right on the label or the sandbat label, or either right down by his knuckles by his Franklin label. Even if we do that, if you take the appropriate bat angle and get angle and rotation, you're going to maximise the chances that that ball is going to land in for a base hit. If you hit a soft ball like that goes straight up, it's an easy pop fly. If you hit that same soft ball down on the ground, it's a slow roller to third base. But if you hit that ball in the middle on that line drive angle, you maximise the chances that that ball might fall in for a base hit. What are some of the other options that you see on this ball? Quite often, take your stance again, take your swing. One of the things that you'll see is they collapse on their backside or they lean back and they change their bat angle. See how the barrel is now dropped to try and get, the barrel on the ball. Obviously when you do this, you change your bat angle. Even if you do hit it good, you're not going to get the ball to do this. More often than not, the ball's going to do this and it's going to curl into foul ground and it's an easy pop fly. So what we're trying to make sure that we do is not react in this manner. What we want to do is take our normal bat angle and hit it here. Even if we hit it 2 inches off our fists, we hit the ball on a line, right, so that we maximise the chances of that ball landing for a base hit. So like I said, what we're actually trying to do here is give ourselves many different swings that most consistently produce a line drive with backspin, not just from our happy zone, but throughout the whole contact zone. That's what we're trying to learn how to do. The more repetition, the more practice we get at it, as you've seen from just a couple of swings in doing this, you'll probably find that he'll get better at it. Look at that. All right, so again, if we were to practice that a bit more, that was the perfect result that we're looking for. If I've got 85 miles an hour plus of velocity coming in at the other end, that's a soft line drive base hit to left field. So if we practice that a little bit more and make it a more consistent response, then you're going to increase the chances of that happening in a game. The same can be said for the pitch that's away. So normally when we make contact on a ball that's away, we hit it right back here deep in the contact zone. In this situation, if we put the ball out here, so it's on the outside part of the plate, but way out in front. Oh, hang on, we're out of balls. So this particular ball here is way out in front. It's still on the outside part of the plate, but it's kind of like simulating an off-speed pitch that you've been fooled on. So have a bash at this screen. Don't worry about what the swing looks like. Just make sure that you accelerate the barrel through the point of contact. All right, there it is. Now, Shane and I have obviously been practicing for a little while because he did it first time. That was perfect. All right, so what he did was control the barrel. Even though the swing was ugly, he controlled the barrel, maintained his bat angle, and hit a line drive. That one he hit the top of, so try and hit the bottom part of this ball. Now, as we talked about earlier, the thing that dictates where the ball is hit is not necessarily whether it's inside or outside, but where you make contact with the ball in terms of the depth throughout the hitting zone. So with that in mind, where would you expect that you would hit a ball like this?
About centre field, centre right, just right centre.
Considering how far it's out in front?
Yeah, I mean, I can try and hook it that way, see how we go.
Try hooking it over there and see what happens. Alright, so again, remember we talked before about slowing your bat head down. You're doing that again. Let's try and accelerate the barrel through the point of contact. Hook it, hit the bottom half. Alright, swing was better because you actually accelerated the barrel through the contact zone. Alright, but you're just still hitting on the top half of the ball. Hit lower on the ball. Alright, there it is. Alright, so that's not a pretty swing, not a textbook swing by any means, but we've still controlled the barrel and we've created angle and rotation. So ultimately that's what we're trying to do, isn't it? We're not necessarily worried about just producing a pretty swing or just producing exactly the same swing all the time. What we're trying to do is that consistently, hit a line drive with backspin, and that's what he did. So what we're now going to try and do is extend that a little bit. You continue to go outside or further out in front and just see how far he can go. Now again, maybe he's not too consistent at it yet, but with practice, the more you practice it, the better that you'll get. All right, that's a hard hit ball. Hit lower on the ball, control the angle and rotation. All right, now we're getting there. Yep, step straight, throw the head. There it is. Again, if you get a bit more velocity from a pitch on that ball's probably a duck fart base hit, but it's still success. All right, so what we're trying to do in our stage 4 drills is basically, now we're working not just within our happy zone, but we're trying to expand the contact zone. So if you get in a defensive situation, or you get slightly fooled, or your timing's not quite right, or you don't pick up the ball exactly how you anticipated when it comes out of his hand, you still have the ability to adapt your swing, control your body, control the bat head, and ultimately control the angle of the ball, irrespective of where you have to make contact within that 3-dimensional contact zone that's somewhere in here. All right, if you have the ability to do that, you're going to become a much tougher out because you're not going to have any holes in your swing. There's nowhere within that contact zone that the pitcher can continually just pepper away at to, to try and get you out. All right, so basically, just in summary, what we're trying to do through all of this is stage 1, we're just trying to learn to hit line drives with backspin consistently. If you hit line drives with backspin consistently, it's going to hone, it's going to breed, it's going to develop a swing that is conducive to producing that sort of outcome. All right, so that's stage 1, that's our emphasis. Stage 2, we're starting to learn how to control where we hit the ball. So we're trying to move the tee around and adjust the point of contact to control hitting it to the right field line, right centre gap, left centre gap, left field line, and we're trying to get the hitter to understand where they need to make contact in order to do that with maximum extension, maximum angle and rotation. Stage 3 is then basically expanding that both at the top and the bottom of the strike zone. So not just from the mid-thigh, we're trying to learn how to expand that and do that from the top of the strike zone as well as the bottom of the strike zone. And then stage 4 basically involves going outside of our happy zone and still learning how to control the angle of the bat to produce a ball that comes off with this sort of angle and rotation, irrespective of where we make contact within our contact zone. So that's basically an overview of our swing practice. I know there's a lot of information in there, but the more you work your way through this process, the more you'll get a feel for it. Again, I think it's good because just through changing the intent of the hitter, you can achieve the outcomes that you're looking for without having to worry too much and get too mechanical, which is one of the biggest issues and limitations that hitters have when they're always forever tinkering with the mechanics of their swing. Because what that actually does is take their concentration away from the actual execution of the skill, which makes basically hitting really difficult. All right, so if we can keep their mind quiet, keep the intent of the movement pretty simple, and basically do that a lot in practicing those sort of drills, we're going to ultimately produce a swing or a variety of swings that the hitter can take to produce a line drive most consistently and through the biggest possible contact area.